Rise and shine, heroes. Your world needs you. Welcome back to the Small Business Superheroes Podcast. In this video, we are going to talk about the 2 things that Mr. Beast taught us.
Oh, nice.
Breaking news, folks, breaking news. Small Business Superhero Podcast has just landed.
The first thing that Mr. Beast taught us is the fact that you make a promise and then you keep a promise.
Right on.
So he always said that when you open a video, we were watching the Mr. Beast had an interview with one of the guys that helps with the YouTube algorithm. And in that video, the guy that helps make the algorithm was interviewing Mr. Beast. And he said, if you could give one piece of advice, what would it be? And he said, when you open the video, just make a promise as to what you're going to make the video about. He gave the example. He said, if you're going to put 3 million Orbeez into somebody's swimming pool, then say, in this video, I'm going to put 3 million Orbeez into somebody's swimming pool.
His most popular video to date still?
It's actually third now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was his most popular for I think 2 years. And just recently, it got surpassed by, he did the Squid Game video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did. So I think the Squid Game video is his #1 top video now.
Let's do this real quicker here. Small business superheroes out there in the world are so busy with their marketing, so busy with their business. Who is Mr. Beast?
Oh gosh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
Mr. Beast is one.
You're right.
You're right.
Solving problems.
Mr. Beast is one of the most popular YouTubers right now. He has a channel called Mr. Beast. It used to be called Mr. Beast 6000. Now he's changed it to just Mr. Beast. And he has been creating videos since he was in high school. Right. But a couple of years back, he gained a lot of traction because he got somewhere in the, I think he was when he got somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000 subscribers. A sponsor came to him and gave him $10,000 or $15,000. And whereas you or I may have thought, oh, I'm going to reinvest that into the channel. Yes. I'm going to buy some new equipment. We're going to make great videos. We're going to continue to do great content. He said to his buddy, Chris, just bring your cell phone and film me handing this $10,000 to a homeless guy. And he just handed it to him. And that was the video. That video is the one that broke him through. At that video is when he started getting millions of subscribers.
Gotcha.
And I mean, that to you and I would almost think, wow, that was a brilliant idea, but it wasn't an idea to him. It was what he just decided to do.
He is an oddity when it comes to YouTubers. He's very modest with his living situation. Mm-hmm. All the money he makes a lot of money.
He does.
He puts it back into videos and gives it away.
He gives it away. It away. And that is his niche, his cornerstone of content that he makes.
So back to the lessons. So now that superheroes know what he is and who he is.
Yeah, he's got like 93 million subscribers on YouTube alone. That's not counting Twitter, Instagram, all the other platforms.
And he's a local North Carolinian like us.
Yeah, he's
right down the road.
He is. He's right up the road from us. He's not far away at all.
Yeah.
We could drive there right now and have a real world possibility of bumping into him making a video somewhere.
Yeah. So the 2 promises that he made that you've learned.
The 2 things I learned from the first thing, it really stuck to me because you and I come from a law enforcement background prior to doing what we're doing now. And one of the things that one of the old veterans told me on my first day was, when you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you tell someone, I'm going to call you at 3 o'clock, then at 2:59, you have your phone in your hand and be dialing. Right. When you promise somebody something, that's your word. They are counting on that. You make sure you stick up to you stick to it and do what you said you would do. Deliver on the promise. Same thing that Mr. Beast was saying in the context of when you make a video. If you're making a YouTube video, if you are doing something for marketing, if you're doing something to provide value, if you're providing a service, he said in the context of videos, open your video with, in this video, I'm going to do this, and then do it. Right. The same thing for our small business superheroes out there. If you're providing a service and you say you're going to do something, we all get frustrated when the cable company says, yeah, we'll be there between 9 a.m. Wednesday and 11 p.m. on Friday.
Yes. And then it's 7 o'clock in the evening. And you're
like, well, what is going on here? Yeah. So if you say you're going to do something, do it. Follow through. Right. That includes promises to yourself. If you promise yourself you're going to work out every day at 5 a.m., follow through. If you promise yourself that you're going to put in the effort to accomplish a goal with your business, follow through. If you promise yourself that you're going to read your goal card every day for 30 days, then take the goal card out every day and read it every day for 30 days. Don't fall short on day 7 and say, I remember it. You made a promise to yourself. If you make a promise to a client, do it. That lesson really, it shouldn't have to be taught and it shouldn't have to be learned. We should all be gathering it from example from people around us, but we don't. Because so much of our lives is filled with people not following through.
Well, I think a lot of it is also if you make a promise and stick to it, that is so unique nowadays with the society. Mm-hmm. So, because a lot of times everybody's guilty of it. I'm going to do this. I do this today. I do it tomorrow. I do it the day after that. I'll just take it off. It's 2 weeks. It's 5 years later,
and now you
70 pounds later.
You got to start over again.
So if you make a promise, I'm gonna call you at 3:00 and we'll discuss and give you a price for this for this project.
Yep.
2:59. You have that phone in your hand and you answer it. Also, if you're on the other end, make a promise that I'm gonna talk to you about this. I am going to put all my energy into this, and I want you to help me. You answer that phone at 3:00 when you get the call. And that's the promise, which is odd nowadays.
It really is. It really is. It happens to everyone every day. Okay, I'm going to call you at 3. And you hold up your end and you call, but they don't answer.
Yeah.
Vice versa. You're sitting there waiting at 3:00 and they never call.
Right.
You text them. They don't text you back. 2 days later, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. My such and such had a this or that. No.
You made a promise.
You made a promise. Now, if you gave a scenario where you said, okay, I'm going to gather this information together and I'm going to talk to you about it. Even if you're not ready, you don't have the proposal ready, but you promised you're going to call at 3:00. You pick up that phone, you call, and you stand up for, I said I would have a proposal for you.
Right.
I promised to call you at 3:00. I do not have the proposal ready, and I'm sorry, but I wanted to call you and let you know.
Instead of that person waiting, 3:00 comes and goes.
Comes and goes. Yep.
His confidence goes down in you, and you can't get that back. It's hard to get back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's the first lesson that I learned from Mr. Beast that was phenomenal for me is the simple fact, when you make a promise, stick to it. And that can be applied so many places.
Yeah.
He said it in the context of YouTube videos. And how many times have you clicked on a thumbnail of a YouTube video and then the video behind the thumbnail isn't what you saw in the thumbnail?
Yeah, and that's part of marketing as well. So, like with us, our business here is YouTube creation.
And I know that's a big one for you.
Yeah.
That's a big one for you. You don't like for the thumbnail or the title to say anything that's not going to be 110% in the video.
Yeah. I also hate it when you click on it and they spend the next 5 minutes talking about themselves and trying to get subscribers. And then they finally get to the thing that I clicked on about.
Yeah.
It doesn't instill trust in me. Now, when I click on...
Subscribe if you want to, though.
Yeah. And we have learned that lesson. Because we've been doing this as a full-time gig for 4 weeks now? It's crazy to think.
Yeah.
We started the journey back September 2021, and we've been learning and trying to perfect it. And we're trying to give value to people. The small business superheroes, we are superheroes in a small business world. There's tons of us out there, and we have no unified, well, we do, but we have no unified way to learn together about how to run a small business. And so me and you've been reading. We've been practicing what we preach, and now here we are.
Yeah, and we've been bringing small business owners on board
Yes.
to talk about their journey, and we have some experts that we have access to that we're bringing on.
I mean, we got new digs here. We got a new studio going on here.
Well, yeah, the new studio. The mad scientist has spent his time and effort and has engineered this brand new studio for us. We got the green screen wall, and we've got a bunch of good stuff coming because we now have the ability to bring out a little bit higher level of content with some more bells and whistles for you.
Yeah, most definitely. So the first lesson is keep your promise, Mr. Beast taught you. So
Make
what
the
is the second
promise
one?
and then keep the promise.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the second one?
The second one is interesting because it's through observation. If you watch a Mr. Beast video where he's giving away money, he goes through a drive-through and tips somebody $10,000.
Right.
You scroll down to your comment section. What you see in that comment section is a cross section of people 50-50 that are exactly polar opposites of one another. You have the group of people that says, man, I sure wish Mr. Beast would give me money. And
handouts.
then you have people who want handouts. And then you have the other group of people who says, man, I sure wish I could give away money just like Mr. Beast. Those are two very, very different people. And I didn't even have to realize it. I knew that I wanted to be in group B. I
would love to be somebody's Mr. Beast.
I want to be somebody's Mr. Beast. I don't want to be the recipient of a handout from Mr. Beast. But you see it constantly. on Twitter and on YouTube are the biggest, most egregious violators I see of this, where people are just outright begging, "Give me money. Can you give me money for this?" Some people don't give a reason. Send me money. Some people give a reason. Send me money. I want new shoes. I want a new TV. Would you give me a car?
Yeah.
But then you've got other people who say, I want to get to the point to where I can give away cars. I want to get to the point to where I can give away money. And that I know where I am at, and I know that that's where you are at, where we would love to, and we are working towards being being able, having the means to do so, and we definitely have the heart to want to do so.
Yeah, most definitely.
Instead of wanting to be the recipient of handouts, we want to be able to provide people with blessings that they need.
Well, I mean, that's the two lessons that you learn, Mr. Beast. I love the fact that he is still humble. He's the number one. He's one of the top three at least. He's probably number one, actually.
He's not number one as far as subscribers. The people theorize that he's number one as far as how lucrative he is, the amount of money that he makes from his channel. They theorize that he's number one, but nobody's got the numbers except for him and his accountant.
Right.
He's not number one in subscribers. He's climbing the ranks, but you've got T-Series, I think, is number one subscriber-wise, and then PewDiePie, and then I think Zach King, and then I think he comes in like in your 7, 8, 9.
Gotcha.
As far as just raw numbers of subscribers.
I know that as far as YouTube channels that my kids watch, anybody with young kids,
of course,
knows about YouTube channels and how obnoxious they are. Mr. Beast, I'm like, watch it all day. I'm like, follow his example. Yeah, I just like the way he does things. I like his karma about him. I also like Dan TDM. I don't know if you know who that is.
Of course I know who Dan TDM. I got kids too,
Yeah, I love those.
I got
two
a
guys.
kid, and he loves Dan TDM. I love Dan TDM.
Yeah. Those guys they're awesome. But the message they're bringing out, especially Mr. Beast, is to make a promise and keep it. And a lesson that he's not saying out loud, but a lesson we are learning from him is the fact that we want to be givers and not takers.
Yep. Well, he lives an example of generosity, which is excellent, excellent, because you don't get enough of that, and it's evidenced by the fact that people constantly begging him for money. Give me money. Give me money.
Yeah.
But you want to develop yourself, your business, your means to the point to which you have the option to be a giver, to give those explosive blessings instead of getting them. To want to receive an explosive blessing is not a goal to have. That's not a goal to set. You want to develop yourself to the point to where you're so financially free that you can be the giver of explosive blessings.
Yeah. Still do your business because you did it out of love, but I want to give. Exactly.
Yeah, never have a goal to work yourself out of a job in the sense that, I don't have to do anything anymore. Someone who has the drive to build a business to the point to where they can do nothing, that person's drive doesn't evaporate. They may redirect the drive into something else and develop that same level of excellence in something else, but they're not going to just give up. They're not just going to say one day, I'm done. I've made enough. I'm going to go retire. That's enough, folks. I'm going to the beach.
They'll do something else.
Of course. They'll get to the beach and they'll lay on the beach for an hour and get bored. How many people have you and I personally known who have been like, I retired, and after about 8 hours, I was so bored I had to go do something?
Oh, man, countless. Just about everybody. It's rare to find somebody who goes, I'm retired and still retired. No, I'm doing something else.
I'm doing something else. I've got something else going for me. A person who wants to be as generous as Mr. Beast, they get enough money to retire and go to the beach, they're going to be giving away money on the beach. They're going to be having contests on the beach, and they're going to be, they go to the drive-through at the beach. They're going to be handing over $10,000 to the drive-through person at the beach.
Well, it's not so much that. Like, Micro is one of my heroes. Micro Works.
Dirty Works, the Dirty Jobs guy.
Love Micro. He started his foundation, Micro Works, and he, is successful. Great voice, right? Great voice.
He's got kind of that deep, gravelly voice, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's got a really good voice. He's very smart. And his passion was doing Dirty Jobs, filming, and all that stuff. And now his passion is Micro Works, where he does scholarships for real jobs, welding, stuff like that. Not 4-year degrees. Don't, what's it called, vocation jobs? Right?
Yeah, vocational.
That's his passion now. So, he's successful, but his passion is that. They get grants and, You can apply and get grants and get help getting these jobs. There's like a lot of jobs out there that require your hands to get dirty. So he leaned into that. We talk about that. If I'm successful, lean into it.
Yeah, lean into it.
And now he has a foundation he takes care of. That's his passion now.
That's good stuff.
So Mr. Beast does that. Micro does this. We do this the best we can.
We're doing our very best with this, and we will continue to up the level of quality of content and the amount of value that we bring, because that's our goal.
Yeah,
that's what we dream of doing. That's what we will continue to do. Total unrelated side note, you talked about Micro having a great voice.
Yeah.
There's a channel I think it's called Jerry Riggs Everything. And that guy has the most buttery smooth voice.
Really?
He really does.
I have to listen
he really
to that.
does. It's not like an ASMR voice type of thing.
It's real professional, deep, and perfect. I don't know. I can't
It's not really all that deep. I can't do an impression of him, but he's hit the timbre of his voice is so even keel, and it doesn't matter what he's talking about. He got a flat tire on the side of a mountain while test driving the Rivian truck, the Rivian R1T, I think it's called, and it got a flat tire and just looked into the camera and was like, "I think we've got a flat tire today, and that's okay because Rivian includes a full size tire."
Oh, silk voice.
Let's go change this tire, and he just gets out and does it. Jerry Riggs Everything. You should try that. Check out the channel if you're looking for a buttery smooth
I'll
voice.
check it out.
Yeah.
Well, this is Ash, the friendly neighborhood mad scientist.
This is Dave the Barbarian, the
right.
Encyclopedia Barbarian.
That's right, the knowledgeable barbarian. Now, is it an encyclopedia of barbarians, or you're the barbarian that reads encyclopedias?
I kept saying the Barbarian Encyclopedia, but you said no. Now you named me this.
Yes.
Years and years
Years
ago.
ago.
And you've always called me the Encyclopedia Barbarian. And I'm like, that sounds to me like it's an encyclopedia about barbarians.
See, I think the opposite.
Then you think the opposite is the Barbarian Encyclopedia. You're like, no, the Barbarian Encyclopedia is the encyclopedia about barbarians. I'm like, well, then what am I? And you're like, the Encyclopedia Barbarian. Okay.
Hey, also, thank you so much. We are 100 subscribers
that's
on our
right.
channel.
We broke 100 subscribers yesterday. Thank you very much.
We are working our tails off. Thank you for subscribing. I got Southern.
I'm going to be
subscribing.
honest. Thanks for subscribing to the channel.
Yeah.
We are in North Carolina after all.
Yeah.
But we were watching it like we saw it 97, 98, 99, and we were watching. I got excited. I won't speak for the mad scientist, but I got excited.
I tried to be cool, but I was like, yeah, get there.
No, I know we were excited. We were very excited, very grateful, very thank you very much.
Yeah.
And so if you're not subscribed, please do. We got lots of great content always, just about every day now.
We're trying to up the value for people. We're trying to give our message out there. We're really trying to give good advice because it's scary. There's no instruction booklet out there for small business.
There's not, and that's what the CEO, the El Jefe himself, the CEO. He came in and gave us an interview, and that was his big thing, is the fact that there's no manual, there's no instruction book to explain how to take yourself from point zero to where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But there are signposts along the way. As you get going, you figure out, often by trial and error, often trial by fire. But here's a guy who was able to get himself up to a place that's just a monumental, like top of the mountain kind of position that he's at. And he started just nothing, just him, an idea and a notepad, and started up.
We joke about lawn chairs and a notepad and a calculator.
Yeah. Lawn chairs, notepad, and a calculator.
Now
look at him go.
Hard work, and he had to figure a lot of things out himself. And so we're here to help you shortcut all that. That's what we're really here for, and to help you out and to build a community and offer advice and learn new things. And so thank you so much. 100 subscribers, amsdynamics.com, the Small Business Superheroes podcast. Keep it up. We love doing this, and we love helping people out. And thank you so much for watching.
Absolutely.
I guess we need to end the podcast.
I'm the Barbarian. This is the Friendly Neighborhood Mad Scientist. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Extra, the Small Business Superheroes podcast on all of your favorite podcast platforms like Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and many more. Small Business Superheroes is powered by AMSDynamics.com.